Hey friends, okay, so today we're headed down to a friend of mine's place down here. His name is Charles, but everybody calls him FunGuy. He runs Funguyfarms here in Oroville, Washington. They grow gourmet style mushrooms down there, and today we're going down to see the homogenization process. I've got Jamie with me. Say hey, Jamie. Haha. And yeah, we're gonna take Max and roll on down there. It's not far, only maybe like, what do you figure, 3/4 of a mile maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, maybe even less. Hoorah, guys. Charles over there, aka FunGuy. Alright. Aha. Good. How you doing, FunGuy?
Oh, surviving.
Yeah.
Just trying to put the cat away.
Hoorah, man. Hoorah. Bring it in.
Right on. So, we'll be going around the side here.
Okay, cool.
We'll wander that way. I got the door open.
Okay,
Nice
totally
to meet
cool.
you. I'm FunGuy.
Jamie.
Nice to meet you. So, today we'll be pasteurizing some mushrooms.
Willie. Okay, cool. Very cool. Is that a very involved process?
It's a little hands-on. I mean,
Yeah?
it's
Cool.
Definitely got to get your hands in it a little bit.
Haha.
So we'll wash up with some alcohol before we actually start messing with it.
Okay.
But right now we're gonna pull it up.
Okay.
And we're gonna let it cool down. So probably take about 20 minutes for it to cool.
Okay.
We'll get it out on the tables, lined out, and get some of the spawn out.
Perfect. Okay, cool.
So this is kind of the beginning of the operation. Sad to say, but this is where you start with your mushrooms. So this is our chopped straw. It replicates hardwood substrate. So instead of 18 months of inoculation time, we're down to about 6 weeks by replicating with chopped straw. Plus, in our urban area, straw is cheap. So wander with me this way. A little warmer in here too.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the mad scientist area.
Wow, how cool.
So I built all this by hand myself. We bought the building and it was an old Apple warehouse.
Okay.
So they used to do like CA rooms here.
Okay, yeah.
So some of these bigger rooms I'll show you. I think we got one right here with the grow tents that we can go and look and wander through.
Cool.
It's huge. So
Really?
But this is kind of the mad scientist room. We've got our laminar flow hood over here for doing our inoculations. So we'll fire that up when we do our spawn treatments and
Okay.
culture our spawn itself and inoculate it. So we'll work under that. It's a 99.9 clean air filter.
Oh, wow, cool.
So it keeps all the bad stuff out. So you can work freely under that. It's pretty nice. But today we'll be right in here.
Okay.
Be pretty cool. But let's go get the straw pulled up.
All right, cool. Totally cool. This is so neat.
It's been a work in progress.
Oh, I know how work in progress is, my friend.
Well, just like you guys, you know, we didn't start out with a bunch of money. We just
Right
had to
on.
start doing something. So
Right on.
these are kind of our own little invention.
Okay.
So we got these. They're from like Alaska, kind of where you come from.
Yeah.
They used to use them to heat the barrels before they'd ship it down the pipeline up there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So that in the winter months it gets so thick they can't really move that oil. So they preheat it and then they send it down the line.
Wow.
So we managed to come up with the idea of getting these. So they're pretty efficient on electricity and they're safe to leave. So this water is at about 190 right now. We don't
Wow.
want to put our hands in here.
Yeah, I can
Wow.
just from over here.
Yeah, so during this process, it's usually just me back here or the wife, but we'll show the whole details today. So you can see pretty darn hot.
Dang.
Steady enough.
Yeah, I'd say that's a little bit warm right there.
That's some soup.
Now, what does that do? Are you killing all the bacteria and other things in the straw?
So yeah, we want to kill the one-way pathogens and keep the two-way pathogens for food for the mushrooms.
Okay.
So the one-way pathogens are kind of like the red army, and the two-ways are the green army. We want to keep the green ones, the good guys.
Okay.
We want the red ones to go.
Okay.
And then there won't be any competition for our mushroom spawn. So as we inoculate our spawn into this, or you know, mix it together, I guess, we'll be making a perfect little home for it. It's its own little world. It's an environment that it can take over and thrive in. And I'll show you some of the bags over this way in a minute.
Okay, cool.
And they're pretty, it's a pretty detailed process, but as long as we stay sanitary and clean, it's not really a big battle. It's when you let the wrong kind of guy in the room and the mold goes,
gotcha, whoa.
you know what I mean? So we want to make sure we kill those. So this has been down about 55 minutes now. And I'll get my little grabby hook here. This is state-of-the-art mushroom technology here.
Nice. It's a clothes hanger, guys.
So
dude,
it's too hot to stick our hands down in there.
Oh yeah.
But we will find our little chain in here. There it is.
Okay, I see what you're doing.
It's just too darn hot to really mess
Oh,
with.
I'll bet.
So then we'll push this button here. This is saving my back these days.
Gotcha.
Let's put that on there.
Okay.
All right, step back a little bit.
Gotcha, yep. How freaking cool, guys.
You're just gonna let it start to drain.
Okay.
We'll let some of that weight off as it pulls itself up, because we're looking at the rafters.
Oh, goodness.
They're pretty nice little winches, though, but I used to have to pull these out by hand or with the forklift. And
oh, man.
what a headache.
Oh,
and
I'll
a backache.
Yeah. For sure.
We'll let that one hang for a minute.
Okay, cool.
We'll move on to barrel 2.
Go ahead and get up behind it.
Yeah, a little better lighting at this station.
Yeah.
This is kind of normally where I get my little 60-second clips from.
Is it? Okay, totally cool. No, I've checked out your channel, man. It's awesome.
It's growing. It's going to be somewhere someday, you know? It's just like the rest of the building. It's a work in progress.
That's what it is. Especially when it comes to anything that's going to last. I find it takes a little while to build if it's going to last, you know?
You know, and I didn't want to do something that was just bad for the world and bad for the environment. So I wanted to be able to be self-sustaining and repetitive. And mushroom growing seemed right up that alley.
Man, right on.
I mean, the waste that we have here actually goes to the 502 farms around the area, and
really?
They use the substrate for their fields that nutritions their plants and their trees, and it's kind of just a round process. The only waste we really have is the plastic bags, and we try to reuse those if we can.
Whoa, awesome.
So, I mean, on the up and up, it's pretty green.
Yeah, right on. When you sell like restaurants and stuff too, right?
Yes, we cater to restaurants, actual catering companies, the local stores.
Wow.
Have our products all the way up to Met House. So
man, how cool.
we've got this is the actual grow kits. So this is what I put in my grow tents out here. So each one of these is already inoculated with the mushroom mycelium. You can see the white fuzz.
Yes.
So that is the actual mushroom strain itself in the bag.
Okay.
And when you start to poke these holes like this,
yeah,
you'll see the webbing around it.
Okay.
And that's it starting to culture. So it knows that it has air there. And what it wants to do is it wants to repopulate. So it's going to grow a mushroom and then it will spore out.
Okay.
And that will try to send its population to another colony that's viable, right?
Right.
So that's all the mushroom ever is trying to do, is just stay viable as a culture.
Okay,
It doesn't really want to, like, say, stay in one spot.
Okay.
So we put it in these little logs, and every time we poke a hole, it gives us a mushroom.
Whoa.
And then we pick that right before it wants to have babies.
Okay.
That's the plan. As long as you stay up on it, you don't get a lot of mycelium buildup.
Really?
It's the moment that you forget about your babies for the day that they go and repopulate, and you walk in and it looks like winter.
Whoa.
They will just fuzz the whole room out, and
whoa,
it is a bit of a cleanup after that.
Oh, I'll bet it is.
It's quite an interesting battle, though. But you can see this one here. You see that fuzz all the way up top there?
Oh, yeah.
That's the actual mycelium growing like you would see in a petri dish.
Wow.
So these ones looks like they're all about 15 days. So these will be moving to the grow room shortly. Almost all of these will. And the ones we make today will be moving in 2 weeks. So
Okay, cool.
every 2 weeks they kind of get moved out there, and you'll be back with us in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, totally.
We'll
I want
some picking and
yeah.
show
Okay,
all of that off. Maybe we'll do some cooking too.
dude, that'd be awesome.
Have some
Right
steaks
on.
and some mushrooms.
Hey, cool, fun guy. Right on.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have some fun. This should be an entertaining time. I mean, as far as making mushrooms fun, we'll do our best.
This is cool. I've never seen anything like this.
So, any questions you got?
How did you get into this?
Ooh, that was a good one. All right, so I was bored at home after my son was born, and I had got my daughters back, and I was working at a auto shop at the time.
Okay.
But I had a lot of spare time in the evenings, and the guy that I was renting from was doing an experiment with mushrooms, but he couldn't
Okay.
get the cultures down. And so he was sitting there taking my rent one day and talking to me about this, and I'm always up for a challenge. And he says, well, I've been trying to do this for 10 years, and I've lost 2 wives over it, and I keep failing.
Oh,
He
man.
says, if anybody could ever grow a mushroom culture, I could just fruit them, and then I'd be good to go. And he's about 70. And I thought, well, that's a challenge. So we got some Petri dishes and some agar, and ordered up some spawn, and we shot for it. And it grew. And then my wife says, well, what are you doing with it? I had it up on a shelf, just all cultured out spawn-wise. And she says, you need to grow it. Don't just leave it there. Do something with it. And I thought, all right, well, challenge number 2. So we made a couple of bags just like this and hung them in our shoe closet. And I come back about a week later to get my shoes for work, and there was mushrooms in there. And I thought, well, let's do something else with this. So we took a small 10 by 10 shed out back. It was like our lawnmower shed.
Okay.
And I stripped it all out and painted it. And we hung about 30 of these bags, and they started fruiting.
Wow.
And it just went from there. It just exploded. Day after day, store after store, they all wanted it, and I never had enough. I still have never had enough. I mean, as fast as we can grow it, they buy it, they eat it.
Well, I'll tell you, that is a good problem to have right there.
That's what I keep hearing.
Yeah, right on, man.
That's how we bought the big building. We thought,
Is it?
instead of fighting for more room every time we turn around, we'll just buy a building that's so big, we
Yeah.
can just keep building each room.
Right on.
Make it work, you know?
Expand outward as you need to.
Yeah. You want
Very
to see this
cool.
one over here?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's got, right now we're at the clean out process. So this is the little alien chamber.
Wow.
Totally
Oh
cool.
my god.
Oh, man. This is like something from outer space, bro.
Yeah, it's fun.
Dude, the lighting is amazing. Right? Yes.
So right in here, you can see the racks have just all got finished cleaning out, so they're ready to roll.
Wow.
This is all unforced air,
Okay.
and then they've got built-in humidifiers that control all of the humidity inside of them.
Okay.
Welcome to wander in if you want.
Whoa. Okay, this is so alien world. Dang. Watch, they zip it up behind me. No! All of a sudden they clone me, right? There's nothing but like thousands of mats in here.
We're gonna have a bunch of browns.
No, let me out. E.T. phone home. This is so neat, guys. You should smell it. It has a really great earthy kind of smell. It's not strong. It's just kind of like pungent.
It's kind of like when you hit an old log when you're
You
walking.
like it?
I like it, yeah.
Me too. It is like an old log, isn't
Yeah.
it, Fungi?
Like when you pick up an old log that's deteriorating, you know,
Yes.
you bust it out in the woods naturally.
Yeah.
That smell that comes out of it, that is the fungus. That is exactly what's good.
Wow.
You know, it communicates with everything in the world. As
Wow.
far as I was told, it's probably been around 10 times longer than we have.
I've heard it was like one of the oldest life forms on the planet, is
Yeah.
what I've read. Yeah.
It's
How
the spirit
cool.
that kind of takes care of everything. Renews everything too, you know, when you die, they're making these new caskets out of mycelium. So these ones here will just separate, that way when we go to pour it out, it won't be a pain in our butt. Come on. Alrighty. All right.
This is so cool,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this before.
Come on, spray bottle. So this is just alcohol and water. It'll just prep the surface for any bugs or any bacteria that's actually falling onto it.
Okay.
I'll hit it with one of these clean microfibers.
So guys, did you know that this is where your mushrooms come from? Pretty exciting, isn't it?
Yeah. Most of them probably don't know that.
That's what I think so cool about being able to do this kind of stuff is seeing stuff that we'll never see, you know?
Well, you know, some people pick up a mushroom at the store and they think that that wasn't hard to get there.
Right on.
It is actually extremely hard to get it there.
Right
I
on.
had no idea of the process. Yeah, I never thought about it.
Neither have I.
That'll start the airflow so it doesn't just quite steam us out in here.
Okay, okay.
Built there by hand.
Really?
I built that one just like you guys do. Literally one board at a time. Now we were kind of... They said I couldn't grow up there on an HOA.
Really?
So homeowners association forced me to buy this place. So I figured, thanks.
Okay.
Thanks for the push, guys.
Right on. That's what it is. Lots of times the things that people do trying to stop us actually inspire us to get bigger and to go further. I like that. That's forward motion right there.
Well, it was either stop and quit and give up, and I didn't want that, or it was find a way to figure it out. So we did that. It was much easier. So this is probably about 190 right now, 185 roughly. We're gonna let it cool probably 20 minutes or so, and then we'll be back. But I'm gonna fluff it right now, just kind of open it up. That way it can cool. It is so hot in the center. I mean, it just gets you quicker than snot too. But that's what we need. We need to kill all the bad bacteria. Yeah, this is our gray dove oyster mushroom line. So it'll be actually a blue oyster.
Okay.
But depending on who you get your spawn from, so this is Field and Forest product. They call it a gray dove.
Hey, got
But
you.
it's
Okay.
a blue oyster.
But it's a blue oyster. Okay.
So as long as we keep them in the fridge and we keep them down below about 50 degrees roughly,
Yeah.
they'll stay dormant. So they think it's winter time and it's night time. So now we're
Okay.
gonna wake them up, bring them into the warm straw, and then they're gonna go crazy in their environment and show us what they got. We'll get some fruit out of them. So we'll probably just use one today because we're gonna run 2 barrels.
Okay.
So before we get into this, we've always got to clean up. Some people do not like alcohol on their hands. It'll dry them out a bit.
I don't mind.
I did buy the ones that had the lotion in it, these dispensers,
Okay, yeah.
and they ran out of lotion.
Oh, crud.
So I don't have any of that today. But we'll just clean up. That gets all the bads away. So what this is it's a grain spawn inside there. So basically the same thing you'd get in your bag of cereal. It is a wheat grain, but then it's been inoculated with mushroom spawn. So it just gives it a home. And the reason we do that is because one patch of mushroom goes to one place, right? But if you've got 100,000 little patches of mushroom, it can spread to 100,000 points of inoculation. So versus just trying to use the mycelium itself like you see here, that would only make contact with one or two objects. Versus each one of these have it inside of it now.
Okay. So each one is loaded, and wherever that goes is going to wind up growing mushrooms.
Exactly, like you see out of here.
Yes.
So now each one of those has become a full bag out of basically a small handful of these.
Wow. Okay, I get it.
We're taking a small amount and we're gonna make it bigger and bigger, and then it'll provide us a fruit.
Okay.
And then when it spawns again, we'll take its mycelium and put it back into a bag of grain spawn and restart the process.
Wow, how cool.
That's what the laminar flow hood's for.
Okay, okay.
So we can literally just keep replicating and reproducing our same exact strain of mushrooms without worrying about any other competition. We never introduce a competition, we never have one.
Okay. How totally cool.
This we're going to use the Godzilla knife today. So we'll just put a little alcohol on there as well. And that'll get it nice and sanitary. I knew that'd come in handy someday. See what I mean? We've got just an unlimited amount of points of inoculation here. This is just gonna spread through all of this straw really well, versus if we had just one mushroom in our hand and we were to try and crumble it and put it in here, it wouldn't go as far. It wouldn't make as many points of contact. Okay. So that's the best way to describe this part.
Yeah, I get it. The way you describe it, I get it. Yeah.
So then we'll just kind of mix this seed in to our substrate. And anytime we see some of these big clumps, instead of just having one point, we'll bust it up and that'll give us multiple more.
Okay.
So basically we've got a little perfect bed for them to live in. Make in-house, we seal them down there on the heat sealer, but they come on a big roll. That's how I save money. Some companies, they buy these other bags, they're like $10 a piece. Not this guy. So we just pull them out to the right length, then we cut them off with the chopper, seal them, everything's done here. But we'll start with these. We'll go down this way. It's a little more light here for you. All right, so the process is pretty easy. We've got everything mixed in. You can still see some of the spawn there. So we'll just start bagging it. Kind of like your local Safeway person that doesn't do that no more. They used to bag our stuff. This is the easy side of it, if you know what I mean.
How do you know how much to put in there? Are you just going by like feel, or have you just done it so much?
So yeah, you're probably right. I've done it quite a bit. So what I want to do is get a good bedding started at the bottom, and then what I'll do is I'll tip it upright, and we'll just start to pack. And so it'll pack down pretty tight, and you can kind of see it start to round up down there. So once you've got it packed down like that, you pretty well started the first part of your grow bag. So You need it as tight as you can. These big air gaps in here take longer for the mycelium because it's not touching. If the substrate's touching, it can make that connection and run fast. It doesn't need a ladder. So if it needs a ladder, if it's got to create a web to get through, it takes longer.
Okay.
So the better we can get them packed down, the tighter we can get them packed down, the faster these bags will inoculate.
Okay.
So some of them will go in as quick as 7 days. We can have them in the grow rooms, and other ones will be anywhere from 9 to 14 days, depending on how packed they are.
Okay.
And usually we'll have 4 of us lined up along here. We can whip out one of these batches in about 15 minutes with 4 guys. But right now my brother is just getting back from fire season. But once we get them about this size roughly, this bar in the back is a wonderful little measuring tool, and it goes roughly about the same height all the way across. It's our power conduit bar. But we'll just put it up there, and usually when it's that height, they're full. Because they need to be the right height for our shelving, because they stand up on the shelving. So another scoop or 2, and this one will be ready to be a baby.
This is so cool.
So I'm gonna give you this side of the bench.
Okay, cool. All right.
It's got some good lighting, and I'll work from this end towards you.
Okay, cool.
Just kind of,
Real
see what you do.
pack it in. I got you. Yeah. I used a little bit too much of that stuff. We'll make sure it's nice and dry. This is awesome, isn't it, guys? This is like really, really cool. I just touched my shirt. Bad, man. Bad.
Yeah, it was funny when we first started doing this years ago. We'd make about 300 of these during the week on about a Tuesday. Whoa. And then we'd take them to the shows on the weekends. Every Friday we'd be set up in one of these carnivals or events, and they'd sell like hotcakes. 40 bucks a piece for these. And I'd sell out. I mean, every weekend.
Whoa, that's amazing.
So it was kind of like a key thing that helped us keep being motivated, was being able to fund ourselves.
Absolutely, I can see that. Okay, guys, I'm trying to get it packed down in there nice, like FunGuy said, so that there aren't any of these air gaps or anything in here. So get as much contact as we possibly can. Yes.
That's what the giant speakers are for.
Okay,
that breaks up that monotony.
It's very still down here, bro. I can see why it's some real jam after a few hours of this.
Yeah, you gotta break that monotony.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. If you can, take the top, fold it over behind it like I did the other one.
Okay.
And that'll stop any of the particulates and stuff in the air from falling in it.
Gotcha, okay.
It just kind of keeps us knowing it's still healthy.
Gotcha. Very cool.
The first 24 hours or so is really crucial that the mycelium takes hold.
Okay.
So it will win as long as it has the first 24 hours. So we'll seal them with the bag sealer at the end, and then they won't get holes till tomorrow.
Okay,
so that will allow them to breathe.
That gives them the 24 hours for the mycelium to take hold before letting them breathe.
Yep.
Aha, very cool. All right, awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of cruel. We're gonna suffocate them for a little bit.
Hey, that's all right. You know, it makes a better product in the end. It's all right.
It might be the key to making them blue is choking them out.
Hey, right on. There you go. That's
just those little seeds, these little flakes, when they're not making so much substrate, right?
No, you really wouldn't. It doesn't seem
like it's gonna do anything. Like,
yeah, no.
Am I just putting back like a bag full of straw right now?
Yeah, man. I feel.
So this thing is a heat sealer, impulse sealer. So when it makes contact, it gets to an extreme temperature. Right now we're at about 4.5. So we're warmed up. We'll take this. Kind of push down on it, try and get as much of the air out as we can. Put it under here. So now that's got us a good seal across the top, you can see. We are all vacuum sealed and ready to go for the shelf for tonight. Anybody know today's date? 16. All right. There it is. We'll put one of these on there so when you come back, you know it's your bag growing. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.